Hi guys, welcome to our channel Selenium Tech Automation. So in this tutorial I am going to discuss about what is page object model in Selenium. Okay, what is page object model in Selenium and what are all the advantages of page object model, and also what is page factory and @findBy annotations. Okay, so why we need this page object model? Okay, so page object model is recommended for the projects, okay, for the projects where UI is keep on frequently changing. Okay, why page object model is required means page object model is recommended for the projects where the UI is frequently getting changed. Okay, if the UI is frequently changing means, so it is very difficult to every time it is very difficult to go and change the web elements for each and every build, right? So in that particular reason, in that particular situation, so we have to opt this page object model, and also we can call it as POM, that is page object model. It is a design pattern. Okay, some people are confusion about POM and POM.xml file. I'm clearly telling one more time, POM here means it is a design pattern and which is called as page object model. Okay, whereas pom.xml file means which is comes under maven. Okay, which is comes under maven topics. So where pom.xml file contains all the dependency files which are required to that particular project, that is maven project. Okay, are you clear on this one? Pom and pom.xml file. Okay, so now what are all the advantages of POM, page object model, right? So with the help of this page object model, so we can easily initialize the web elements for each and every pages inside that UI. Okay, page object model, the main advantage of page object model is it is easy to initialize the web elements present inside that UI for all the pages. Okay, for each and every page we can easily initialize all the web elements to do some actions on that particular UI on the particular pages. Okay, so that's why we have to use, I mean that's why we will use it for where the frequently changes in UI. Okay, so and also with the help of this page object model we can easily reduce the lines of code. Suppose for example without page object model, so where you are writing 20 or 30 lines of code for a single method. Okay, when you come to this page object model, it is easy to understand, and also here we can reduce the lines of code with the help of page object model, and also we can easily maintenance this page object model design pattern. Okay, it is very easy to maintenance. Okay, and also readability and reliability of the script. Readability means it is very for the people who are not having technical knowledge also, so they can easily understand so what exactly this page object model is doing. And the main reason why we are using this page object model here is, suppose consider an application, that is Amazon application, so where we can have login page, home page, and also there are some several categories present inside the Amazon application, so that end user will use those categories, right? So during this situation, so we will, if we go to this page object model, it is very easy to write the scripts based upon the pages. Okay, it is easy to write the scripts based upon the pages what that application is containing. Okay, for example there is login page, home page, and also some logout page. Okay, for login page we have to collect all the web elements like username, password, and also sign in button. So after that if there is any forgot password link, so these are all the web elements we have to add all these elements inside that particular login page dot class file. Okay, so after that we have home page. So in home page also what we can see, there are several tabs which are available for kids, for apparel, for women, for men. So likewise we can see different categories on the home page, right? So for all those home page related functionalities also we can add all these web elements inside that particular home page dot class file. When it comes to logout page, so there also we can have logout option, keep me signed in, several kind of web elements, right? So we can capture all these web elements and keep it in a separate class. Okay, this is called where we can call it as page object model, which means we are separating all the pages in terms of classes. So in page object model, each and every class is not dependent on the other classes. Okay, the class which is independent to the each and every class. Okay, there was no relation between one class to another class. That's why we are separating with the help of page object model. What is page factory in page object model? Okay, what is page factory in Selenium or page object model? If interviewer will ask you like what is page factory in Selenium, so we can tell him like page factory is a class provided by the Selenium WebDriver to support the object design patterns. Okay, page factory is a class which is provided by the Selenium WebDriver to support page object design patterns. Here page object design pattern means the elements what we are initializing at our page level. Okay, and also here you can see at the rate findBy annotation is also there. So what does it at the rate findBy annotation will do? An annotation which will be used in page factory to locate and declare web elements using different locators. Okay, at the rate findBy is an annotation which is used to locate and define an web element along with the particular locators or different locators. Okay, at the rate findBy is an annotation used in page factory to locate and declare web elements using different locators. Okay, there are some different locators. I will give you some examples like XPath, CSS, type, name, id, class. So these are all comes under locators. These locators we can locate and define with the help of at the rate findBy annotation. Okay, this is all about page object model. So let me quickly brief you about how this page object model folder structure will looks like. Okay, let's get started with this one. Okay, before that let me check whether it's recording or not. Okay, it's fine. So you can see here just now I created one Amazon project. So it is also a Maven project where you can see this pom.xml file as well. Okay, if you go to here pom.xml file, so I added all the dependencies which are required for this project. Okay, for example, if we are using testng, I mean with the help of testng only we are going to execute all our scripts. That's the reason why I added this testng dependency inside this pom.xml file. pom.xml file means project object management or model.xml file. Project object management.xml file. Okay, there will be no confusion between POM and POM.xml file, whereas POM means page object model or POM design pattern, whereas it comes to pom.xml file means it is a file where Maven will give you by defaultly with the help of this pom.xml file, where we can easily add the dependency files which are all required for this project what you are working currently. Okay, because of that we are adding all these dependencies here. You can see dependency tag which is following with testng version 6.8.8. so likewise what are all the requirements, like what are the tools you want, so you can just go to Maven repository. From there you can add the from there you can copy the dependency and paste inside your pom.xml file. Okay, so likewise I added for Selenium server as well, and also for Apache POI, and also if you have any log4j, so you can add them as well here. Okay, and also we can have some extend reports also. You can see we can add this extend report as well here. This is a dependency which I downloaded from Maven repository. Once if you add it and if you click on update project or refresh project, what does this will do? This local repository will take all these jar files from central repository, that is Maven repository, and paste it inside your local machine or local folder, that is .m2 folder. .m2 folder is the key. .m2 folder is the main heart of the Maven project. Okay, so this is how this will work. So in going forward, so let me quickly let me quickly explain about the folder structure of page object model, how it will looks like. So after creating your Maven project, you will get two folders here, src main java and src test java. Okay, along with these resources folders also will generate by defaultly. Okay, so we will go one by one. So once this is done, for example I want to launch my browser, I want to start my browser by launching one Amazon URL. Okay, Without page object model, we can do it hard coded values directly inside our test scripts only. But in real times, how these frameworks will be looks like means, so we have to save, like we have to add all these necessary requirements like url and also db credentials and also db urls. Okay, so these kind of things we have to keep it in separate file that is called config.properties. Okay, you can name it as per your own wish. Okay, how you want to name your properties file, you can name, no problem. So but in our case I am showing you like, so I am creating one configuration folder here. So inside this configuration folder I am creating one config.properties. You can see here inside this config.properties I can add this as a key and this is my value. Okay, I can add this url as key and I am providing value as the URL. Okay, that is www.amazon.in, right? So likewise the same for our username and password credentials also. So we are not going to mention these values as hard codedly directly inside our scripts. We are just keeping inside this config.properties only. So at the same time you can keep how many environment variables required for your project. So you can add all those under this file only, config.properties. For example, if you have an environment like test environment, so these are all the credentials, we can use it for test environment. Okay, and one more, after some days your management or your team lead will ask you to execute all your scripts on different environment. So during that time what you will do, you can create one more properties file. So there you can mention the necessary requirements for that particular new environment. Okay, like test environment is for this one, and if there is any dev environment, you can add all these details which are related to dev environment and create one new file. So there you can add directly. So likewise we can add a number of properties files, because you can have multiple environments when you are working with Selenium automation. Means in real time scenarios we have to work with different kind of environments. So that's why it is necessary to keep all these information separately only, depends upon the environment where you want to run. Okay, so that's the reason why we are using this config.properties. Okay, config.properties. So once these config.properties completed, so we can have like there are some actions to be performed, right? For example, if I want to log in, I have to perform some entering the username and entering the password and also clicking on that login button, right? So here you can observe we are performing two actions, right? One is send keys and one is click action, right? So we have to create some reusable methods. To do all these actions, so that you can reuse the same code throughout your project for different test cases, right? So that's the reason we have to create one separate package called as generics. Okay, separate package that is called as generics. So I'm going to create one package called generics. Okay, I'm going to create one package called generics. That is, the naming convention should be com dot regression dot amazon dot generics. Okay, amazon.generics. See, you can see all these are all small letters, and also which is having some decent naming convention. Okay, it is must and should to follow these naming conventions. Okay, some people what they are doing in real time also, they are just mentioning that what is the purpose for. Okay, what does it this generics is doing, so they can mention up to that only. But to be fair, this is our real naming convention. In real time scenarios also we have to follow. Okay, this is how this com.regression.amazon.generics. Okay, so here what we are going to do now, we are going to create one class called as generics. What does this generics class will contain? Generics class will contain some common functionalities like clicking on any button or sending the keys to the text field, or also sometimes there is a scenario called where you have to handle multiple windows also, right? So during those common functionality also, we have to add all these inside this generics only. Okay, this is the purpose of generics class inside page object model or any other frameworks also. Generics means where you are going to perform the common functionality actions in terms of clicking or send keys or double clicking or drag and drop or any like or any some suppose there is a field that is called as invalid text. Okay, I want to verify that invalid text, so for that also we have to create one method. And also there is some scenario as I mentioned, like where you need to handle multiple windows, so those kind of related functionalities, I mean common functionalities, we have to add under this generics class only. And also there is some situation like you have to accept that alert every time from the automation side, so we have to create one more method to handle the alert pop-ups in Selenium. So these are all the functionalities, common functionalities where we are adding inside this generics class. Okay, once this generics class is done, we have to create one more folder that is called as drivers. Okay, that is called as drivers folder. Okay, that is called as drivers folder, right? So that is called as driver folder. So I can create directly on our project only. So let me create new folder here that is for driver files, right? Driver files. So driver files, so here you can add all your driver files, you can add all your driver files. For example, I am working with IE browser, okay, and also I am working with Chrome browser, and also I am working with Mozilla Firefox, and also I am working with Edge browser, IE browser. Okay, depends upon the environment, we are going to execute all our scripts from the desired browser, right? So that's the reason why we are keeping one more separate folder, so where you can store all these driver files, right? So that's why we are creating here. So just let me go to just let me go to editings folder here, so that I will copy the latest Edge browser what I downloaded previously. You can see here, so I added today only, like half an hour or 1 hour before. So just let me copy and paste it here. Okay, so just let me copy and paste it here. So just now I pasted this msEdgeDriver.exe file. If I try to open here, it is telling you what is your driver version. Okay, so in my case my browser version is 99.0.1150.39, so that's the reason why I downloaded the same Edge driver. Okay, where we are going to run all our scripts, right? So that's the reason why we are storing all these driver files inside this created driver files folder. Okay, once this is done, now what else, what up to what we done? So first we created one configuration folder, here we added config.properties. So after that we created one package that is called as generics package. Inside this generics package we created one class called generics class. So once this is done, so now the main concept will start from here only. Okay, now we have already now we have already the environment details which are stored in config.properties, and the second one is the common functionalities what we are going to perform on the particular UI application. So those methods we can write inside this generics package. Under generics package we can have called generics class, right? So once this is done, what we did now, so we added one more folder, so where we can store all our driver related files. Okay, for example, Edge driver or IE driver or Chrome driver or Firefox driver or IE driver. Okay, those files I have to keep and store inside this drivers file folder only, driver files folder only. So now everything is ready. So now the next step is what we are going to do now. So we are going to create classes based upon the pages. Okay, create classes based upon the pages. For example, as we discussed till now, so as I told, each and every page have their own class, right? Their own Java class file. Okay, each and every page in that particular UI or application we can create classes, Java classes. Okay, .java class files. For example, there is a package called com.regression.pages. Okay, let me refactor it to some good name, com dot. Okay, 1 second, let me save pages, refactor, rename. Okay, so here com.regression.amazon. amazon.pages. Okay, com.regression.amazon.pages. So this is a naming conventions we have to follow. So inside this pages package, amazon.pages package, so I am going to create one class called login page. Okay, this is our first class, login page. So likewise, if you have more number of pages also, for example, let me open the Edge browser so that I will show you. So what are all the pages we can have for Amazon? Okay, amazon.in, right? Okay, so this is our home page. For example, this is our login page where I'm going to log into this application. Okay, continue, sign in. So now we created login page, right? So here what we perform, before that we launched our browser and also we launched the URL, that is amazon.in, where after that we entered credentials, right? Login page. So username entering, clicking on that continue, password entered, clicking on that sign in button. So once if you're done with those actions, it is navigating you to home page of this Amazon application. So now we are going to create one more class that is called as home page, that is called as homepage.class file. Okay, that is called homepage.class file, homepage, sorry, homepage.class file. So now we can have two classes here, one is for home page and another one is for login page, right? So likewise, if you go to any other, like for example, I am going to here all, and also let me go to one more page. For example, I am going to electronics page. Okay, this is all about electronics. You can find a number of products from here. So these are all comes under the same page, that is electronics page. For that reason, I am going to create one more page that is called electronics page. Okay, that is called electronics page, electronics page. Okay, oh sorry, electronics only I mentioned. So let me refactor it one more time, rename electronics page. Okay, electronics page. So likewise, depends upon your application, how many pages you are traveling or you are navigating, we can create that many Java class files. Okay, so for example, if I want to go to gift cards page, okay, this we can consider it as separate page, that is called gift cards. Okay, I can create one more class that is called gift cards page, gift cards page. Okay, so likewise you can create how many pages you are traveling or you are working with, so that many Java class files you need to create if you are working with page object model. So once these are all done, so what we will do now, so now we can have all this electronics page, gift cards page, home page, login page, right? So for all these things we have to perform some functionality. For example, in electronics page, this is a scenario like I want to go to electronics page and I want to click on this and I want to place an order with this item. Okay, for example, this is my product where I'm going to buy. So I want to select this product, clicking on this one. So once if you reach to that product description page, PDP, that is called product description page, where you can find all the details of about that product, right? So this is my product and product name is Boya BYM1 omnidirectional lavalier condenser microphone with 20 feet audio cable. Okay, 20 feet audio cable with black color. Okay, so once I perform, means once if I click on that electronics tab, from that electronics page, I want to buy this Boya BYM1 omnidirectional lavalier condenser microphone with 20 feet audio with color black. Okay, I want to buy this product. So once if you click on that BOYA Boya from electronics page, it will navigate you to that particular product related page. Okay, PDP, product description page, where you can see all the details about that particular product. So what are all the features and what are all the details about that particular item, and also what the rate they are mentioned here. Okay, so these are all the details, you can find it from PDP page. So once it is done, so I want to do some extra more, I mean some more functionality here. So I want to add this to my cart first. So this is also one functionality. So then once if you added this cart to your once if you added this product to your cart, so I want to go to my cart again. Okay, once if you go to cart here, you can see again the same item what you shopped just now. So this is a scenario where I can write the scripts for that electronics page. Okay, inside that electronics page I have a scenario like first I want to navigate, go back to the electronics page. From electronics page I want to buy a product that is called Boya BYM1 condenser microphone. Okay, once that is done, I want to place that order, no, I want to add that product to my cart page. Okay, once if you add it to the cart, so I want to go to cart, right? So for that also we are going to create one more page that is called as cart page. Okay, cart page where you can see all your items to be added. Okay, once this cart page is also done, so that's enough. So I don't want to travel more. So for example only I am telling this is the scenario. So for this scenario what we are going to do now, we are going to write all these functionality scripting part. Okay, as I told electronics page, I want to click on that electronics tab, I want to select one item from that electronics page. So after that I want to go to that product description page. After that I have to add that product to the cart. Once that been added to the cart, I want to go to the cart page. Okay, these are all comes under electronics page. For example, okay, I can write all these steps here. Okay, like send keys, clicking on that web element or adding that web element. So likewise we can write. So this is one scenario. So for this scenario I am going to write my actual test case. Okay, that is the first test case scenario where first you have to launch your browser and then hit the URL amazon.in, then login page. So once login page is done, so then you will navigate to home page. Once home page is also done, you are going to that electronics page. From there electronic page you are going to that product description page. Once that is done, it been added to that cart page, right? So once electronics page is done, what are all the actions we can perform on that cart page? You can see the items which are present inside that cart page, and also you can proceed with your items to place an order also from a cart page. Okay, so these are all the scenarios we can differentiate with different test cases. Okay, for scenario 1 that is one test case, the second scenario that is the different test case, and also there is a scenario like from login page to logout. In between these login and logout, so you can have a number of scenarios. We can consider all these as one single test case. Okay, so likewise you can have 3 to 4 test cases for example. So all those test cases we are going to create inside this src test java package folder. Inside this I created one com.amazon.test, right? So here let me create one class that is the actual class, so where we are going to automate that particular scenario what we discussed till now. So that is what is the scenario? Test case electronics page, test case electronics. Okay, test case electronics, no, test case electronics cart. Okay, test case electronics cart. Okay, you can see here first we are going to login, home page, electronics page, cart, and proceed to buy. Okay, these are all the scenarios we can see in this particular test case. So that's why I mentioned here test case electronics cart.java file. So this is all about your pages and test cases. So likewise you can create a number, you can create automation tests depends upon the user story what your team is going to provide to you. Based upon that user stories only we are going to create all these test cases. Okay, so now let me go to our page factory, how we can initialize the web elements, So for example login page, right? For example this is our login page, so let me quickly, okay, this is our login page, so let me quickly sign out from here. Okay, let me quickly sign out from this logged in user, so that I will show you how we can initialize the web elements with the help of page factory and at the rate find by annotation. Okay, so let me open it freshly, Amazon. So in this today tutorial I will just show you how to initialize the web elements. Okay, so once if you hit this URL, the same we mentioned here also. So let me close this one, let me close all these empty pages. Okay, so now we have worked with only login page only. So this is our configured properties, right? So once if you open your application with this URL, so you are going to log into your application, right? So for that application, so where you are entering your username after clicking on this sign in button, right? After clicking on that sign in button, so let me quickly inspect that hello sign in button. Okay, okay, this is our XPath. I'm going to write now with the help of span the help of contains text method. Contains text. What is the text? What we copied? Yeah, this one. You can see here below, contains text hello sign in. So with the help of how we can initialize web elements, with the help of page factory and at the rate find by annotation. Okay, page factory is also a class which is provided by Selenium WebDriver. Okay, page factory is also a class which is provided by Selenium to support the object design patterns. Sorry, page object design patterns. In page factory, we can use at the rate find by annotation. Okay, at the rate find by annotation. What does this at the rate find by annotation will do? This is an annotation used in page factory to locate and declare web elements using different locators such as XPath or CSS or ID or name. Any locator it will be, but we have to locate and define that locator with the help of at the rate find by annotation, right? So after this one, so I want to initialize, right? I want to initialize web element for that hello sign in button, right? So at the rate find by the syntax here is XPath equals to what we just now we make some XPath, right? We can copy and paste it here only. Okay, after that, what is that one? It is a web element, right? It is a web element for hello sign in button. It is for hello sign in button. Okay, it is for hello sign in button. You can import from OpenQA Selenium only API. Okay, so once it is done, our next one is, okay, once if you click on that hello sign in, it will take you to login page. Okay, so here you can inspect this username field as well. What it is? Input type equals to email. Okay, input, what is that tag name? Type equals to input type equals to email, right? Input type equals to email, sorry, at the rate type equals to email. Okay, at the rate type equals to email. You can see this element is highlighting the same XPath. You can copy and paste for username field. Okay, so once it is done, so with the help of at the rate find by, we can locate and define the web element. Okay, at the rate find by XPath equals to this one. Okay, XPath equals to this one. So now close this, open bracket. So what is this element is for? This element is web element. This element is for username text field. Okay, this element is for username text field. Okay, so in the same way we can have for password also, right? Okay, I will copy it one more time. So now we can have continue button also. So let me quickly take XPath for this continue as well. So you can see at the rate ID equals to continue, at the rate ID equals to continue. Okay, at the rate ID equals to continue. Okay, at the rate ID equals to continue. Okay, so this is for continue button, continue button. This is how you have to follow if you are working with page object model. Okay, so once if you click on continue, what is our next one? You want to, you have to enter your password in the password field, right? So for that, this is the password field. Input at the rate type equals to password, right? Okay, input at the rate type equals to username, password text field, right? Password text field, input type equals to password. That's all, right? Password. You can see here password, input at the rate type equals to password. So now after that, what you are doing here, you are going to click on sign in. You are going to click on sign in button. So that one also, input at the rate id equals to sign in submit. Okay, sign in submit. So this is how we have to take all our XPaths and initialize on the top of your page class. Okay, so that page factory will initialize all your web elements to perform actions on that particular web elements. Web element, what is this for? Sign in button. Okay, this is for sign in button, right? So there are 5 web elements which are related to, which are present inside this login page. Once this is done, so now what we are going to do, as discussed, now we are going to initializing page objects, right? Initializing page objects. Okay, initializing page objects. So before that, you have to use one constructor here. So you have to use one constructor. With the help of this constructor, we are going to initialize all these web elements. With the help of this constructor only, we are going to initialize all our web elements. Okay, so for that, how we can create one default constructor? Public, what is our class name? Login page. Okay, it is a default constructor, public login page. So here we are going to write page factory. Here we are going to write page factory dot init. You can see here init elements, similar to other init elements methods, but taken as an element locator factory. Here you can find the brief description about what does it init elements will do. Init elements is a method which will initialize the web elements and for the particular page. What are all the web elements are available? With the help of initialize elements method, it is going to initialize all the web elements. For that, any actions. Okay, page factory dot init elements, init page factory dot init elements. So here we are working with driver, right? Driver. Okay, we are working with driver. Okay, with the help of this constructor, this keyword. Okay, so why we are getting this driver means we didn't initialize any driver. We did not initialize any driver, right? So for that, what we are going to do now, we are going to create one web driver. We are going to create one web driver under generics class. Okay, inside this generics class, we are going to initialize one web driver, that is public static web driver, public static web driver and driver. Okay, so now public driver web driver. Okay, so this login page what we created just now, this login page is extending generics, because inside generics we are going to create some functionality methods like common functionality methods such as send keys, clicking, dragging and dropping, double clicking, or mouse handling, or keyboard and mouse operations, or multiple windows handling, or handling the alert pop-ups. So those and all methods we are going to create inside this generics class only. Once if you write all those methods, we are just calling these methods inside our actual page classes. So that's the reason we are extending this generics class here. So after extending generics, you can see this error is gone now. Okay, once it is done, so what is our next step? We are going to write the functionality here. Okay, we are going to write the functionality here saying that, okay, we are going to write our first login method here. Okay, for example, this is our, okay, this is our first login method. As of now I am not creating any reusable methods, so we can use directly here the default methods from Selenium point of view only. Default methods here means send keys or click. Okay, send keys and click. So these methods we can directly use. So in upcoming videos I will show you how we can create reusable methods and we can use inside this login page class. Okay, this is our first login method saying that public void login action. Okay, this is our first method saying that this is our public void login action. Okay, so now what we are going to do here, we are going to click on this button, right? We are going to click on this button. For example, hello sign in button dot click. Okay, once you launch your URL, so it will take you to login page. So inside this login page we are going to click on this hello sign in button. You can see we can see we are going to click on this button, then only you will navigate to that username and password where you are going to enter. Okay, so once if you click on this one, it will navigate or it will take you to username field where you are going to enter. Okay, so once this is done, after clicking, so what it is, the next step is we are going to enter this one. Okay, we are going to enter that username and password. Okay, username and password. So how we can do that one? So let me create insert the generics only, or else I will show you in the next video. So for now we can enter it directly like send keys of, right, username dot text field, username dot send keys of, for example I am telling like this is my user name. Okay, for example I am telling in the tomorrow video or our next video I will show you so how we are taking the values from properties file and entering here in this method, that is login action method, how we are calling the key and value from properties file. So once it is done, so the next field is continue button, right? Continue button dot click action we are performing here, and the next one is password field, right? Password text field, dot send keys of entered. No, I am just telling this is not the real password, enter the password. Okay, enter the password. After that what you are going to click, sign in button, right? So for that sign in button dot click, that's simple. So these lines only necessary for login action. Okay, to perform login action these are the steps we need to follow. First, we are initializing all the web elements with the help of page factory. So after that we are initializing, we are using inItElements method. So where this init method will take two parameters. The first one is driver reference, that is web driver which is coming from generics class, and this is the keyword. We are telling that this initialize elements method is going to initialize all the web elements present inside that particular login page. So once that is done, we are going to create a method that is called as login action. So inside this login action method we can have hello sign in button dot click and also username text field dot send keys. After that clicking on that continue button. So once that is done, password is going to be entered. So once that is done, we are going to click on sign in button. Okay, these are all the steps for login button, login action. So okay, so once it is done, so the next step what it is, so I am continuing with this only one method only. So in the coming video I will show you in brief, like by taking 2 or 3 methods. So then I will give you one more example. Okay, so once this is done, so the next what we are going to do, so we are going to create one test case, that is test case electronics cart.java, right? Test case electronics cart.java. So this one we will see it on tomorrow. Okay, so again let me go back from starting. This is how our page object model folder structure looks like. First we created one maven project here. So let me use magnifier so that it will be easy for us. Okay, first we created one project that is called Amazon. Okay, so in this Amazon project, it is a maven project where you can get one pom.xml file, that is project object model or management.xml file. So inside that pom.xml file we need to enter all our dependencies which are required for our project, that is in terms of testng and also Selenium, and also if you are using extend reports you can add that dependency as well. And also if you are using with if you are working with Excel files, you can add that dependency file from Apache POI also. After that, if you want to capture the full page screenshot, you can use you can use Andex tool so that it will capture the whole page. Okay, so these are all the dependencies we are going to add inside this pom.xml file. So then the next step is, first step is, after adding the pom.xml file the dependency files, so the next one is configuration. Okay, we are created one configuration folder. So what does this configuration folder will contain? This will contain environment related details. Okay, environment related details will keep inside this, config.properties. Config.properties contains URL, Amazon URL, and also username, password, that is for test environment. If you have any other different environment, you can create or you can add those details inside the same properties file also, if you don't want to create one more properties file. So once that is done, the next step is we are working with Edge browser or IE browser or Firefox or Chrome. It depends upon the requirements. You need to execute all your scripts on the mentioned browsers. So that's the reason why we created one folder called as driver files here. So I added ms-driver.exe file. So once it is done, so the next one is what we are going to do, generics class, generics class will be available. So inside this generics we are going to create reusable methods. Reusable method means like common functionalities such as send keys, clicking, handling multiple windows, or accepting alerts, or so these are all the common functionalities. And also there is some drag and drop and also double clicking, keyboard and mouse operations. So those are all we can create some reusable methods inside this generics class. So once that is done, our actual page will start from here, that is com.regression.amazon.pages. So this is how you have to follow the naming convention. Once it is done, the cart page, electronics page, gift cards page, home page, and login page. So these are all the pages as of now we created. Pages means these are also some kind of classes only. It is also some Java class files only. So we are segregating, we are separating each and every page as a page class. Okay, after segregating, for example this is login page, so we are going to initialize all our web elements with the help of page factory, with the help of inItElements method, with the help of @findBy annotation. We are initializing all these web elements. So once that is done, we are writing one small method that is called as login action. You can see here that is called as login action. Okay, that is element dot click username dot text field dot send keys clicking, send keys clicking. Okay, this is just an example only I am telling. In my upcoming video I will create some reusable methods in front of you only, so that you can also understand how we are going to create all these methods. Okay, so this is all about page object model. So page object model nowadays it is very popular framework. At the same time, you need to have some knowledge about Cucumber also, and also REST API, and also SOAP UI, SOAP API also. So where it will helpful for you when you are doing some web services testing, and also there is some DB testing also there. So these are all the frameworks we have to have some knowledge if you are not using also. So that's all about today's session. So please don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to like after watching till the end, and also please share so that our video will recommend for the more people, so that they will also get some knowledge about this one. So in my next video I will tell you about how we can create some reusable methods, such as for actions, common functionality actions inside this generics class, and also we will work on some scenarios. Okay, we will see all those in our upcoming video. Okay, until then, take care everyone. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Signing off, Selenium Tech Automation.